Hello there! Welcome to my show, COVID-19 Update by Heerak, and it's July 26, 2020. And today is Happy World Tofu Day. Yeah, and what you see on your screen, that's a Korean tofu soup. It's kind of spicy. Most of Korean food is spicy. That's what I love about Korean food. And it's like vegetable, and tofu obviously is great for vegetarians. So you can find a lot of Korean food that's vegetarian. Um, yeah, so check out tofu soup at your local Korean restaurant. They probably have carry out. So you could, order, one for every member of your family, and have a Korean tofu night. And Koreans do a lot with tofu. So it's not just the soup. They have tofu, that's like fried tofu. They prepare tofu in like so many different ways. Um, and you could call up a Korean restaurant and ask them what kind of tofu dishes they have, and you could order a variety of different tofu dishes. And you can learn about the Korean food. And yeah, it's National Tofu Day, so I'll definitely say check out your local Korean restaurant and their tofu soup and dishes. Yeah, I'm in Arlington, Virginia. In Fairfax County, there's a lot of Koreans and Korean restaurants. And even in Falls Church in Arlington, we have a lot of Korean restaurants. So, yeah, check it out. I think you'll love these tofu soup and tofu dishes. Yeah, you live once. You don't know if you're going to die from COVID-19 before Christmas. You gotta try out these dishes. Make your life interesting. Try different dishes. Um, yeah, today is Sunday, so I don't know if the death figures are kind of lagging behind in terms of reporting, but we have 474 deaths. My guess is it's weekend, so maybe the reporting is a little bit lagging behind. Because we had like over 1,000 deaths for several days in a row, so 474 deaths is just kind of irrational, but I mean, it's possible you could have a one-off day, but I don't think that's anything to be happy about because you have cases rising by like 60,000 every day. So there's going to be a lot of deaths. So I wouldn't put too much hope on that. I mean, of course, 474 deaths is still high. I mean, it's no laughing matter because you have zero death in China right now, zero death in Korea, zero death probably in Japan. A lot of Asian countries there's zero death. So 474 deaths, that's still a lot. But it's better than 1,000. But I don't think that's the new normal. I think it's just one-off thing. Um, as you know, I am Heerak Kim, independent candidate for U.S. Congress and Virginia State District, and I'm predicting that we're going to have up to 10,000 deaths per day in America in the summer, just because we have so many cases. We have like 60 to 70,000 cases per day. So logically speaking, we're going to have a lot of deaths, right? Um, so you'll see that rise. I think you can have up to 1,000 deaths in Texas alone, 1,000 deaths in California alone, 1,000 deaths in Florida alone, and Arizona and Georgia, they could reach 1,000 deaths per day. So that's not really 5,000 there. So, I don't think we have any problem hitting 10,000 deaths per day. Obviously, I don't want anybody to die, but, it is a global pandemic. And schools are about to open up, which means cases will skyrocket. And we're going to have a lot of children dying, thousands in each state. It's something that's going to happen. And if you want to take the risk, it's your children. I wouldn't take the risk with my children if I had one. I'm not married. I'm single. I've never been married. And I am looking for a good Christian woman to marry. So if you know someone or if you are that person, feel free to email me. I'm looking for a woman between 18 to 24, 26, like pop. Ideally, if you fall in love, that's like all out the window. But ideally, that's I have a list, and that's in the list, and preferably, she's like five taller than me is better. So I'm like 5'9"-ish. So taller than that is always better. And about 110 pounds. That's like the ideal. Obviously, she has to be Christian, but after being a Christian, the most important thing is her looks, how thin she is, and how beautiful she is. Um, and then, other things matter, but I mean, geez, I mean, you're not marrying a friend, you're not marrying a colleague, right? You're marrying a woman that you love and you want to have sex with every night. So physical beauty is the most important thing, I would say. And as you know, I'm not going to mince words in my show. I'm going to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me, God, and help you, God, right? So I'm not going to lie about it. You get married with a woman who you find physically attractive, right? I mean, God created us that way. In the beginning, God created Adam and Eve, one man and one woman to be married. And he said, be fruitful and multiply, which means have a lot of sex. Yeah. I mean, can't have children without having sex. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, God intended sex to be pleasurable. Obviously, that's why God built our bodies that way. Um, yeah. So if you fit kind of my list, feel free to apply. I don't know if you've been seeing Indian matchmaking show. Some people like it, some people hate it, but we're in COVID-19 era. We're kind of headed that way as a society. And Western society used to have matchmaking as well. It's not like it's distinctive to India. Uh, you know, a while ago, there was matchmaking, and even now you have blind dates, right? Which is kind of like matchmaking. So yeah, it's like ubiquitous, in history and every society. Um, because human beings are not biologically programmed to have sex with many different sex partners, because you get disease, right? There's herpes, there's HIV, there's like hepatitis C, there's all kinds of sexually transmitted disease, right? Um, and so God did not design our bodies so that we could have sex with many different women, right? God wanted one man and one woman to get married and just have sex with each other, in which case you will not have any sexually transmitted disease, right? That was God's intention, and in the Ten Commandments it says, "Thou shalt not commit adultery." So, arranged marriages work because you get married and you still have sex with one wife, until you die, kind of thing, or your one husband. Um, Indian couples are very happy, and Korean society where there's like matchmaking as well. People are happily married, My mom and dad are very happily married. Um, so, marrying with the kind of American style dating, I mean, 60% are ending up in divorce. You can't say that's the best method because you look at the outcome, 60% ending up divorce is a failure. So it's not like Indian system is inferior, it may be even be superior. And it's a system that was used in England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales, France, Germany, a long time ago. So it's not like it's something new. But yeah, this is COVID-19 era, and World Health Organization says COVID-19 is here to stay forever. It's a 365 days a year virus. It's not like a flu virus. It goes and comes back. So, that's why everybody was predicting at first, like Dr. Fauci, Dr. Gupta in CNN, Dr. Han, Dr. Birx, Dr. Redfield. They were all predicting that it was going to be like a flu virus. It's going to be here during the flu season, go away during the summer, come back during the flu season. But obviously, they're all wrong, and Heerak Kim was right. It's from the very beginning. Heerak Kim said it was a 365-day virus, and I was right, and they were wrong. Just for the record, obviously. Yeah, and I said a lot of people are going to die in the summer, and Heerak Kim was right again. A lot of people are dying in the summer. So that's 2 for Heerak, 0 for Dr. Fauci, and Dr. Birx, Dr. Redfield, Dr. Han. Yeah, I'm 2 for 2. They're 0 for 2. Yeah, their predictions were wrong. Yeah, so I am the Leonardo da Vinci of 21st century. Heerak Kim, that's who I am. Independent candidate for U.S. Congress of Virginia's 8th District. I don't belong to the Republican Party. I don't belong to the Democratic Party. I am no party affiliation. You go to FEC, Federal Election Commission website. You Google Federal Election Commission, and you put zip code or city, Arlington, Virginia, and you see the races. Virginia 8th District. You could put 8th District, Virginia. and you'll see my name. It says no party affiliation. I'm proud of that because, um, I am my own person. And yeah, I mean, and I want you to have me as your person. Vote for me in Virginia's 8th District congressional race for U.S. Congress. Don Beyer is the current congressman, he's Democrat. I'm running against him, obviously. And I'm also running against the Republicans. My good friend, Jeff Jordan, he beat my other good friend, Mark Elmore, in the Republican convention. So he's running on the Republican ticket, but I'm running as an independent. So don't take Republican box down the line. And on November, make sure you look for my name, Heerak Christian Kim. That's the most important box you have to tick, right? It's more important than voting for President Trump. Heerak Christian Kim for Virginia 8th District. Make sure you tick the box if you are in Arlington, Alexandria, Falls Church, and Fairfax County. As you know, I am the Leonardo da Vinci of 21st century, and I hoard keys to solving America's problems in education, in healthcare, in COVID-19. As I said, I'm 2 for 2 on my predictions for COVID-19, whereas Dr. Fauci is 0 for 2, Dr. Birx is 0 for 2, Dr. Hahn is 0 for 2, Dr. Redfield is 0 for 2, Dr. Gupta is 0 for 2. I am 2 for 2. Yes, I'm the only one who got it right both times. That it's a 365 days a year virus, not a seasonal virus, and that many people will die in summer. I'm right? And they were wrong. So you can trust my predictions, and I am 3 for 3 because I said you are free to open up, but more people are going to die. Yeah, if you don't believe me, just go back 2 months. All these episodes you can see through YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, Heerak Christian Kim for Congress YouTube channel. Just type that in Google, and just watch any random episode from like 2 months ago where I said, yeah, America's free to open up, but more people are going to die. I said that on my show several times, several different days. And I was right. Yes, I'm not 100% right. Because my theory is you cannot open up safely unless the case goes to 0, right? Or near 0. And so if you open up, you're taking a risk, when it's not near 0 or 0. And I was right. I said you're free to open up, but you're going to be risking getting cases. So I'm 3 for 3. Yeah, I'm proud of being correct in my predictions about COVID. And I'm 100% sure I'm correct in my 4th prediction that thousands of students will die if you open schools for fall of 2020 in every state. Every state will have thousands of students die. Every state. I don't want to be right, but what can I do? I'm the Leonardo da Vinci of 21st century. I bring in expertise from sciences, from nursing, from healthcare, and from history, from Jewish studies, from theology, from the field of education. Yeah, I mean, over the weekend I was working on my Doctor of Education thesis, trying to solve inner city public school problem of student underperformance. Yes, that's the dissertation I'm working on now. So it's going to be a magnum opus. It's going to revolutionize inner city public schools, particularly schools that are 100% Black students or near 100% Black students, because that's been my focus. Black schools, inner city Black schools. And I use the term Black because there are African Americans, there are Africans, and there are Caribbeans who are Black. There are South Americans who are Black. They're Blacks, in different parts of the world. So, I'm just using the term Black because, I think that's more descriptive of the schools that I'm talking about, although it's mostly 100% African American or African immigrants. So, but they do have Caribbean Black population, and you have to respect the Caribbean Black history. Their history is different from, I would say, like Black history in America and Black history in Africa in the last 100 years or so. So we do have to respect the diversity within the Black community, and I recognize that. And obviously, I respect the differences. That's why I'm mentioning it right now. So yeah, so my dissertation is going to revolutionize the black education in America. As you know, I received my teacher education certification education from Virginia Union University, which is in Richmond, Virginia. And I am a doctoral student in administration from Virginia State University, which is also an HBCU. So those are two HBCU universities that I've been a student in. And HBCU stands for Historically Black Colleges and Universities. So Howard University in Washington, D.C. is an HBCU. Um, and so, yeah, I mean, I am the Leonardo da Vinci of 21st century. If I don't try to solve these problems in Black urban education, it's not going to get solved. I was trained by the best minds in Black education in at Virginia Union University, at Virginia State University, and Howard University. When I, when I had was a part of um, professional development program at Howard University in 2017, 2018 academic year. When I was teaching at Savoy Elementary as fifth grade elementary teacher before starting my master's in clinical nurse leader program at Georgetown University School of Nursing. I studied with the greatest minds in Black education at Howard. So although I did not receive a degree from Howard or were in a degree program at Howard, I was in a 1 year long professional development program at the Institute of, Learning at Howard University that focuses on Black education. And my teacher from Virginia University, Joy Davis, is the director of Urban Institute, which is a very famous institute focusing on Black education in all 50 states. She works closely with Department of Homeland Security on urban educational issues. So she's a consultant for Homeland Security. Um, yeah, and then across the neighborhood where Savoy Elementary School is, that's where the new headquarters of Homeland Security is, which is kind of interesting. Um, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'm highly connected in Black education circles. When I say highly connected, I am connected with the leading experts of Black urban education in America, like the experts, like the top 10. Yeah. So, like Joy Davis, director of Urban Institute, is one of the top 10 top experts on urban education in America. She regularly is a consultant to federal agencies, U.S. Senate, U.S. House. Yeah, I mean, she's the department chair of Department of Teacher Education at Virginia Union University. So she's a luminary. She's been a chair of that department for a long time. Yeah, she's an amazing teacher. I'm happy to have learned from her. She wrote me a recommendation that can be hired at Savoy Elementary School. She's very supportive of my research. And my all of my professors they're all luminaries in NAACP in Richmond nationally and HBCUs. They play significant leadership role in Black education at both elementary, middle, uh, uh, you know, pre-K, pre-kindergarten, 12th grade education, as well as higher education. Everything is linked. Everybody knows everybody in the world. So yeah, and these are my teachers and my friends. And they're proud of me. And they email me and saying they're proud of me so many, many times. So I'm like a household name among HBCUs. Because once you connect with the top experts, everybody talks about you. And so everybody's just like waiting to see the final product of my doctorate of education dissertation that's going to revolutionize Black urban education. Yeah, I mean, Savoy Elementary School is 100% African American students. That's why, I chose that school. you know. In Petersburg, Peabody Middle School, which is now Vernon Johns Middle School, it's like 99% black students, um, in Petersburg, Virginia, which is near Richmond. And so, yeah, I mean, you're looking at an expert of black education here. I am a bona fide expert of black education. Yeah, I mean, I presented papers on black education at 2019 convocation of Kappa Delta Pi, which is the not national, international honor society on education. So all the education professors around the world, not just in America, but everywhere in India, England, France, yeah, they're part of that. And I presented my paper on black urban education. Yeah, I'm an expert. Yeah, I mean, people are just dying for my dissertation research to be published into book form, which I would be doing, obviously. So I'm already a legend in my field. I delivered two research presentations at the annual convocation of Kappa Delta Pi, which is the International Honor Society in Education. And every program in teacher education has a honor society where they induct their brightest students into this honor society, and they come and meet, and you have to have a minimum GPA requirement. It's like a whole spiel, in the field of education. It is the honor society in education. So, yeah, so I am connected. I'm the vice president of Kappa Delta Pi chapter at American College of Education, where I'm finishing up my PhD, Doctor of Education. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited. You know, yeah, I'm a problem solver. I'm solving problems of black education. Yeah. So, yeah, when I was at Virginia State University, I actually dated a couple of black students. There were, obviously my age group is 18 to 24 or 26. So they were, both of them were like 20 years old. Um, so one is an immigrant from Sierra Leone, and she was the brightest undergraduate student in the teacher education program at Virginia State University. And she's a special education teacher. And I saw her, near the department. And she was really pretty. She looked like a model. So obviously, if you're gonna look like a model, I'm gonna ask you out. So I did, and she said yes, obviously. Because everybody says yes, the beautiful women. Um, so I went out with her. We were at the Cheesecake Factory near Richmond, near her home in Henrico. And she started teaching, at Henrico, special education at Henrico School, public schools. Um, Her mother is actually a big shot nurse, which is like, yeah, interesting. She was telling, yeah, my mother is like a nursing director or chief nursing officer of a big hospital somewhere in Richmond. So I'm like, interesting. Yeah, and her mother is an immigrant from Sierra Leone as well. Um, she studied nursing in Sierra Leone, from what I understand, and then she came over to America, and then she did her graduate degrees in America while working as a nurse. But she's 100% Sierra Leonese. I mean, the girl that I dated, she's 100% Sierra Leonese as well. Although I think she was born in America. Either she was born in Sierra Leone and came when she was early, or she was born in America. And yeah, I guess she decided to go into education instead of nursing, but her mother is a big shot, important nursing person in Richmond, Virginia. Um, yeah, so I gotta, look her up when I go to Richmond, take her out to Cheesecake Factory again. I mean, she's a nice person. She was like the smartest student, Virginia State University Teacher Education Program. And I met her, when she was graduating and senior year. So she is such a good girl. She's a good woman. She goes to Sierra Leone every summer, and she helps out with starting like schools and villages and stuff like that. I mean, she's a do-gooder. I like women who are like do-gooders, who have good heart. Um, and so yeah, she has a good heart. She wants to help, children, and so she that's why she goes to Sierra Leone every summer to do that. She said, when I went out, she said she has relatives here in I guess Montgomery County and St. George's County in Maryland. I don't know if she has relatives in Virginia, but she said she definitely has relatives in Maryland. She was thinking about coming over to this area to teach special education. I should give her a call because I have her number. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's so far away, to be like having a relationship, Um, I'm not really good with long distance relationship. And Richmond is far away to have a relationship with a girl with, because you want the girl to be nearby, so you could just call her up and say, hey, let's go and go for some tofu soup at the Korean restaurant. You want to just be kind of casual, be able to do that with your girlfriend. Like Richmond is so far. You could you want to go for tofu, you have to you know, plan it out like days in advance. It's like too much. So that's like too far. But anywho, she's pretty. Yeah, as I said, she looks like a model. She's really pretty. And I guess she's like 22 now. She's like, yeah, I guess 22 or 23. So she's still like within the 18 to 26 age group. Uh, that my limitation on marriage. Obviously, I mean, I prefer not to make an exception, but if I fall in love, what can you do, right? But she's definitely within that range. So, I'll probably, if I'm around in Richmond, I'll call her up. I have her number. Um, yeah, I'll take her out for oh yeah, right. It's COVID-19. I can't take her out for dinner. This is a little bit depressing. But anyway, yeah, but I mean, you know what I mean. For if miraculously COVID-19 were to go away, I would take her out to dinner. And I have another girl that I took out to dinner. I mean, I kind of saw for a while. Um, yeah, she's a party girl. She's her major is social work. I don't know how I end up with like do-gooders. I'm always ending up with like girls who are beautiful and like desire of like every man that they know, and they have good heart and do their do-gooders. I don't know how I mean, I seem to end up with like really, really good women. It's just yeah, I don't know. I guess I can't complain, right? So, but this girl, the social worker girl, I mean, you know, I don't know if I should share. Well, I guess I could because you don't know who she is, right? I never shared her name. She was going to drop out of Virginia State University, and I talked her out of it. Yeah. Um, she's from New York. Her father is this like big shot, important person in New York, like very, very influential in the Black community in Bronx. Uh, Very actively involved politically, obviously, in the democratic process there in Bronx. But they're good Christians. I'm trying to get them over to the Republican Party or independents. I'm no party affiliation, but I was Republican back then. Um, I may be creating my own party. I mean, as long as Republican Party opposes LGBTQ plus and abortion, I can play with Republican Party. You know, but those are two essential issues with Christianity that's cannot be compromised. It's right in the Bible, Romans chapter 1, the Ten Commandments. So yeah. But anyway, yeah. So I would say the girl from Sierra Leone, she's like 100% good. Like she doesn't do any smoking, drinking, or like she's like 100% focused on her thing. Just she just 100% do-gooder. On the other hand, my friend from New York, party animal, she is a do-gooder. She was like the residential advisor for dormitory at Virginia State University for underclassmen, like freshmen when she was a junior. You know, she has a problem with hookah and vaping. And she's trying to get me to go hookah with her. I'm like, no, I don't do any of that stuff. No hookah for me. No vaping. Nothing's going to go into the system. You know, nothing foreign. And she's like, you know, she's so she's trying to corrupt me, you know, to get me to do hookah and vaping. I'm like, no, 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 you know. But I don't know. I guess she still liked me, you know. Just kept hanging around, which is good. Yeah, but she's like a party animal. But you know, obviously she's a residential advisor, and so she, you know, she's doing social work. She wants to help out. You know, she wants to work in the public school system as a social worker. That's her goal. And she's nice. I have her number. You know, when I get down to Richmond or go to the Bronx, I'll call her up. You know, she has the Bronx number, but yeah. So, so many women to call on. You know, so little time. What can you do? But anyhow, you know, I did need a good do-gooder at Georgetown. You know, she just graduated. She's a senior. Just graduated from Georgetown. Pre-med, you know, and she's beautiful, you know, and French, American. I think her mother's French and her father's German. No, her father's French, her mother's German. Something like that. I forgot, you know, she was telling me. Um, yeah. But anyway, yeah. So, you know, but she's a do-gooder too. She's like, she loves children and she has zest for life. And like a bon vivant, you know, and that's why she wants to be a doctor. I think she said she wanted to be a pediatrician. But yeah. But anyhow, COVID-19 took our. I was gonna ask her out to the Hoya Ball, which was in April, but the campus shut down during spring break, so that just destroyed everything. But anyhow, you know what can you do? It's life. You gotta expect the unexpected. Yeah. Um, but yeah, it's like weddings can be expected or unexpected, right? Because you don't really know who you're gonna fall in love with and end up marrying. Um, and obviously, you know, today I have a scene from the wedding of Gone with the Wind, and the reason being today, one of the actresses of Gone with the Wind passed away, 104 years old. Wow, she lived long, right? I bet you want to live that long, 104 years. Um, yeah, that's one of my favorite movies, Gone with the Wind. If you haven't seen Gone with the Wind movie, I would encourage you to see it. You will not regret it. It's such a good movie. How could you not like Gone with the Wind? It's just a great, great, great movie. Um, yeah. You know, tragedy is happening in Latin America, and unfortunately, it may be a picture of what's going to happen in America. Because we have 50 states, which are kind of like 50 different countries. Um, we're headed that way. So, and also flu season is coming. We don't know what's going to happen during the flu season. No one knows. So it's a big question mark. Heerak Kim, independent candidate for U.S. Congress, Virginia's 8th District. I'm predicting that 1 million Americans will die per month because obviously we don't have this COVID second peak under control. We're going to go into flu season with exploding cases. So we'll probably have anywhere from tenfold to thousandfold increase in COVID-19 cases during the flu season. Everybody's going to die. I mean, so many people are going to die sad and we're going to be funny. I mean, I think it's a smart thing to kind of shut down now and bring COVID-19, flatten the curve, as we say, before going into flu season. So we have like a low, low baseline to start from. Because a lot of people are dying during the flu season anyway, even if we start from a zero baseline. But I mean, look at this. I mean, we're having like 60,000 cases per day. Our baseline is going to be so high. It's going to be horrific, horrific. And if there's even one case in a county, that could spread. One person can infect thousands. One person. One person can infect thousands. So if there's even one person in a county, that county is lost. I mean, you're gonna have a lot of people dying in that county. It doesn't matter if there's only one person in the county with COVID right now. You gotta bring it down to zero. Yeah. If you have even one case, that county is gone. The flu season is gone. A lot of people are gonna die. So that's why we need to bring it down to zero before the flu season. That's critically important. And that's why Heerak Christian Kim, independent candidate for U.S. Congress, is calling for Georgetown to close the campus down for fall 2020 because we need to bring everything down to zero. We're not going to go to zero by opening up the campus. It's ridiculous. Any healthcare expert knows when you open up a campus, people are going to get COVID. It's going to become an outbreak, hotspot. People are going to die. That's like 100% guaranteed. The question is, will 100 people die or 1,000 people die or more? People are going to definitely die. That's like 100% guaranteed. So why open up the campus before the flu season? We need to bring this down to zero. It's a public health crisis. And Georgetown University opening up the campus, they're adding to the healthcare crisis. And it should be ashamed of itself because we have a nursing school there. We have a medical school there. Georgetown University should know better than open up campus in the middle of a pandemic when, you know, it's a wealthy university and everybody has internet and laptops. We can do remote learning without any problem. Why risk increasing COVID-19 in all 50 states with students who will come to Georgetown and then go back? You know, you're looking at a catastrophic situation with students coming and then going back. There's going to be spread of COVID in both ways. People coming to Georgetown will bring COVID. When they have to go home because campus shuts down, they will bring COVID. I mean, it's double jeopardy. Why would you want to do that? But, you know, people have done stupider things than that in human history to their detriment. Certain cities have gone extinct. And don't doubt that that could happen in American setting. We can have cities with 100% death rate, meaning like there could be a town where 100% of the town dies from COVID. That's coming. And I can say that with absolute confidence because science is there and it is theoretically possible for a whole town to die, like 100% of the town to die from COVID. Let's say a town of like 1,000 or 2,000, whole town could die from COVID. Or COVID-related death, healthcare problems. Yeah, and it's like any kind of, you know, pandemic. It spreads and kills. It could kill 5% of the population, kill 10% of the population. Certain areas could kill 100% of the population in small towns. You know, I mean, it's theoretically possible for 20% of New York to die during the flu season. It's possible. Yeah, ask any healthcare expert. They're going to say it is possible. It could happen. It may not happen, but it could happen. And that could happen in every city in America. We need to bring the numbers down to zero or close to zero before the flu season, or we're in serious trouble. I mean, and that's why I'm thinking I'm probably right, that we could have 1 million deaths in the United States alone per month from COVID-19. Because you have like whole towns dying, you know, potentially. We don't have a cure. We don't have a vaccine. It's not time for us to be taking these risks. It just doesn't make sense. And so we look at Latin America and we see what could happen to America. In Brazil, you know, Brazil is number one in terms of cases. 2,419,091 cases. The death rate is 4% like America. 87,004 people have died. So from yesterday to today, Brazil had more people dying than United States because we had 474. They had over 500. Yeah, so Brazil's their death rate is continuing every day, very high rate. And so during flu season, it's going to be horrible in Brazil. Mexico, yeah, another country where there are like a lot of deaths every day. 390,516 cases, 43,680 are dead. 11% have died. So flu season, Mexico's in serious trouble. Serious trouble. Peru is number 3. at 375,961 cases. The death rate is at 5%. Number of people who have died are 17,843. So I'm sure a lot of people in America have relatives in Peru, Mexico, and Brazil. So they probably know people who died. And since they're dying at like hundreds per day, people, Peruvians, Mexicans, Brazilians, Indigenous 8th District, they may get a call next week saying their relatives got COVID and they died. Yeah, it's a very sad time right now in Latin America because the continent is becoming like Europe. In fact, it's worse than Europe right now, uh, what Europe was. I mean, that's not to say during the flu season, Europe won't be more horrible. It may be. We don't know. Because flu season hasn't come yet. We don't know what's going to happen in the flu season. Dr. Fauci says COVID-19 will be at least as bad, probably worse than Spanish flu of 1918. Spanish flu of 1918 killed 50 million people. So Dr. Fauci obviously is predicting more than 50 million will die. Since 25% of all COVID-19 deaths happen in America, if you have 100 million die around the world, 25 million will be in America. Yeah, I mean, they're continuing that rate. 25% of deaths are in America out of all COVID-19 deaths. Heerak pushing him independent candidate for U.S. Congress and Virginia's 8th District. I'm predicting that we're going to have 30 million Americans dead by end of year 2022. Spanish flu killed 50 million in 2 years. So my prediction is COVID-19 will kill 100 million in 2 years minimum. And I think, this winter season, we'll see millions of people die. Look at this, it's the summer and you have, a lot of people dying. I mean, there's like no flu, no strep throat, I mean, geez, it's going to be really bad during the flu season. Every year, 75,000 children get RSV, respiratory virus, that has no vaccine and no cure. And many of them end up developing bronchitis and pneumonia, and some of them die. During COVID-19, probably all 75,000 of them will die. Because when there isn't COVID, there's enough ICU beds and, but with COVID-19, if 75,000 get RSV, most likely almost all of them will die. Yeah. RSV is just one illness that is really big during winter. You have all kinds of children's illnesses in the winter that's going to take children's lives. So opening up schools is just really stupid. You need to find a way to have the education at home. And one way to do that is you do online learning. I mean, you could figure out a way to deliver remote learning. But you have to figure out a way based on where your school district is. Yeah, I mean, all your money and resources should be going towards that. And if you announce that your school district is closing now, you can start redirecting your school budget to provide online learning for all children. So there are school districts where children don't have internet or laptop computers. If you decide now to go 100% online, you could redistribute your school budget to make sure that every student has a laptop that's insured. So if it breaks, it could be replaced. Obviously, you need to insure all the laptops, and then all the laptops come with internet connection. You could, as a school district, work out a deal with, like Metro PCS or AT&T. But this is why I'm saying you need to shut down the schools now. Because if you shut down the schools now, you have several weeks to plan all this and execute all this. But if you start school and like half the students don't have, internet or laptop, and you start at school and you have to shut down like in October or November, you're like scrambling. The whole academic year is lost. Why would you want to do that to the children? It's better for youth now to say we're going to have 100% online, redistribute school budget to ensure and make agreements with AT&T or, you know, or Metro PCS or somewhere to have each computer connect at a reduced price, insure every laptop, you know, and then work with the teachers and school administrators to figure out a way to deliver education online and come up with assessment tools for students, right? And we gotta redesign everything. And so you have several weeks that you could do that one. I told you in April, this is what you have to do. I told you to declare schools in the fall to close and then spend 3 months preparing a curriculum that's 100% online to make sure that no education is lost. But you didn't listen to me, did you? Yeah, I mean, I told you in May, this is what you needed to do. You didn't listen. I mean, I am the Leonardo da Vinci of 21st century, Heerak Christian Kim, independent candidate for US Congress. I tell you, you need to take my advice seriously because I told you what's going to happen in the fall and it's happening. I told you COVID-19 cases will grow in the summer. Just watch my episode from 2 months ago. I've been right. And I've been saying since May, you need to close and start preparing for online learning so that academic year 2020, 2021 will be effective. The children can learn everything they need to learn. But what have you done? You were lazy during the summer. You didn't prepare for online learning. You're like, oh, we're going to open up. We're going to open up. Oh my gosh, this is a COVID-19 global pandemic. For the next several years, people are going to keep dying at the rate of like 1,000 or more per day on average. Geez, this is our new reality. You can't go back to 2019 America. We're in COVID-19 America, and this is what we have for the foreseeable future for years and years and years, maybe next 50 years. So obviously facing the reality helps you solve the problems that you need to solve. I mean, if you're trying to go back to the old country, as you know, I'm an immigrant from South Korea. If I want to go back to the old country, South Korea, I'm never going to get things done because I'm always like thinking about going back. I need to do things in my new country as an immigrant, right? And advance in this new country that's my country. So as an immigrant. And in the same way, you know, we are now in COVID-19 America. You can't go back to 2000 America before COVID-19. You cannot. What are you going to kill off all the COVID-19 that you can't even see? Which are like trillion times trillion times trillion times trillion times trillion. They're multiplying every day. You can't get rid of it. This is your new reality. You may have to do like matchmaking wedding, like the Indian matchmaking show that you might have seen. That seems to be popular right now. That's why I'm saying if you're a person between 18 to 24, you need to get married because if you lose that window, you could become a spinster, like, you know, and geez, you know, do not miss your window of opportunity for happiness. Right? I mean, 18 to 24, that's when you should get married. I mean, prioritize wedding, marriage, forming a family, because that's what, you know, when you're old and gray, all you have left is your children and your grandchildren. That's the main source of happiness. Don't throw it away. 18 to 24 is when you're the most beautiful. You know, it's all downhill from 26 for men and women. But since, you know, men are superficial, you know, it's hard to get married as a woman after 26. Women seem to be willing to marry men who are not physically fit, you know, but men are more superficial. So, yeah, that's just life. You know, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. And if you read that book, yeah, men are just superficial. You know, they like what they see, you know? That's the most important thing for them. That's like 99.9%. Whether they lie to you and say it's not or not, that's the way it is. So yeah, 18 to 24 is when you must definitely get married. If you miss that window, you may be a spinster, you may be unhappy for the rest of your life. Yeah, so don't miss that window if you're a woman. Do not miss that window. If you already missed that window, oh my gosh, it is priority number one. You find that guy and get married. You need to be proactive and aggressive. Do not play hard again. You can play hard again, like between 18 to 24. You could pass the window, too late to play hard again. You play hard again, you're not going to get married. You have to get what you have to go after what you want. You know, if you're a woman after 26, it's too late. You cannot play hard again. You're not going to get anybody. Yeah. So yeah. Chile is number 4 at 345,790 cases. The death rate is at 3% lower than America and Brazil, and they have 9,112 deaths. It's still a lot. So obviously, Texas and Florida are rushing towards that death figure right now. Colombia is number 5 at 240,795 cases and 8,269 deaths, 3%. Yeah, things are bad. But you know, what can you do, right? You got to make the best of it. Yeah. And so I thought, you know, just for you women out there who are 18 to 24, and I have a lot of friends who are in that age group, and women I've dated at Virginia State University are still within the 18 to 24 group. Yeah, so you know, I want to help you, you know. I mean, I can't marry all of you. I can only marry one. But I want all of you to be happy, you know. So yeah, because you deserve to be happy, you know, marry somebody you love. Don't miss the window, 18 to 24 window to get married. That's the best window to get married, you know. Um, yeah, and so I don't know if you look at wedding dresses. I rarely look at wedding dresses because I'm a guy. My sisters tell me that like women look at wedding dresses and you know talk about it with their friends. I don't know. I'm not a woman. Female friends that I have do not, you know, share wedding dresses with me. We talk about other things. I think women associate with women in different ways than they associate with men. I mean, just you cannot destroy the genders. That's why gender obfuscation, confusion of gender is absolutely ridiculous. Because women will be women, men will be men. You know, you cannot mix the genders. You know, so all these trying to like mix the gender is ridiculous. Because in the beginning, God created the male and female, right? He made sure there was a gender distinction. But you know, my female friends seem to like looking at wedding dresses, and you know, I mean, you know, I don't really always. I mean, this time I like, you know, I like to compare wedding dresses. Sure. I mean, what's my favorite dress here? Um, I like Tiffany Trump's dress. You know, it looks nice. But I have to say, I like Taylor Swift's dress the best. I like Taylor Swift. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I've shared it in this show before, and I thought about marrying her. Obviously, you know, if I get an opportunity to see her, I'll ask her on a date. I'm sure she'll say yes, and we'll go out on a date. We'll fall in love, and we'll get married. I'm sure that would happen like within months. But I haven't really seen Taylor Swift, so I haven't been able to ask her out. So you know, what can you do? Location, 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 right? I actually was considering going to Nashville, Tennessee, so I could see Taylor. I'm not kidding. I actually applied for a teaching job at Nashville, Tennessee Public School. It's called Metro Nashville Public Schools, and I got hired. I was extended a job offer to teach sixth graders at an elementary school in Nashville, and I really wanted to go. Um, but you know, I got an offer from Washington D.C. and they were paying me for the same job. I mean, I became a fifth grade teacher, and both of them are like, you know, Nashville is more Hispanic than Black, but it was like mixture of Black and Hispanic students. So it's like a elementary school that's like mostly students of color. Title One school. I think it was on accredited. The principal was really nice. You know, I corresponded with her obviously. But you know, I got an offer from Washington D.C. and they were paying me $20,000 more. I think $25,000 more. And until you sign the contract and everything and are onboarded, I mean, until you sign a contract, both parties sign a contract. It's like job offer is a job offer, right? So I ended up signing with the District of Columbia Public Schools, and I ended up coming here. And maybe had I gone to Nashville, Tennessee, I might have seen, you know, Taylor Swift, and I would have asked her out, and we might be married by now. I don't know, but I hope she would have worn that dress if we were to have gotten married. I think she and I would look good in that dress. But anyway, life is like that. Location, location, location. If you miss, I mean, it doesn't always work out the way you dream about. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm sure Taylor Swift will marry somebody nice guy. Seems like a lot of guys like her. Um, I told my cohort members, clinical nurse leader members, we're talking about like marriage and stuff like that. And one of my clinical nurse leader buddies asked me, oh, so what kind of girl, like what actress do you like? Or, what entertainer do you like? And I said, I really like Taylor Swift. Not gonna lie. And they're like, you like Taylor Swift? I'm like, yes. Why is that so strange? And like there were more than like one woman who said you like Taylor Swift, like liking her is like a crime or something. I don't understand it. I mean, I guess they're coming from a woman's perspective, but I don't know too many men who would question why I like Taylor Swift. Look at her. Look how beautiful she is. Like she's right underneath my video screen. Yeah, I mean, if I tell guys I like Taylor Swift, they're like, yeah, I get it. I wouldn't even have to explain it. But I'm sure Billy would understand and Grant would understand. We don't sit around talking about these things because guys just don't do that. But yeah, but girls do. So women ask me, my female friends in clinical nurse leader program, they asked me what kind of girl do you like, and I said I like Taylor Swift, and they were like, "How could you like Taylor Swift?" I'm like, "Huh?" you know. And one of my friends, one of my really really good friends, um, she was like, what did she say? She's like, do you know that she's like has a lot of boyfriends? And I was like, geez, I don't know. I mean, the way they were trying to portray her, it was kind of negative. And I'm like, look at her. She has face of an angel. She has a voice of a cherub. You know, I don't know. This cherub, you know, uh, she's like looks like an angel, sings like an angel. Hey, it if it looks like a dog, acts like a dog, it's a dog. She's an angel. Angel, what can you say? So anyway, yeah, but anyway, you can't always have what you want, I guess. That's life. Yeah, I'm sure Taylor Swift would be very happy being married to me, but yeah, but anyway, that's life. Um, yeah, but anyway, I like Taylor Swift dress. I like Tiffany's dress. Look how happy she looks with her father, President Trump. If I were Tiffany, I would try to get married while President Trump is president. Because I mean, this is like you're gonna have international attention. Like if Tiffany gets married, let's say like in year 2021, after President Trump is sworn in for his second term, can you imagine what the wedding would be like? You will have like you have presidents, royalty from around the world coming for the wedding because it's President Trump's daughter who's getting married. I mean, why would you want to miss out on that? Because once President Trump is finished, then he's just a private citizen, so he can't really he can't invite the dignitaries, but they're not going to come because dignitaries they're busy, but they're going to come if a sitting president invites them to his daughter's wedding. You know what I mean? But once you are no longer president, you're not as important in the eyes of dignitaries, domestically and internationally. So if I were Tiffany Trump, I would try to get married as soon as possible. And marry a Christian, Tiffany, marry a Christian, because that will make President Trump much more happy because he's expecting you to marry a Christian, that's like, well, Christian parents are like that. They want their kids to marry Christian. So you could probably choose anyone you want, Tiffany. And so you just choose the best, you know, and marry him when your father is president, you know, because if you get married after your father is president, it's not that special. Look at next to you. President Clinton's daughter, Chelsea, got married. I think after President Bill Clinton was president, her wedding wasn't that special. There weren't too many important world leaders who came to her wedding. I mean, you know, Chelsea Clinton looks beautiful in the dress, right? And you know, look how proud Bill Clinton is, you know. But he wasn't President Clinton; he was ex-president. I think, yeah, I think that's like when Chelsea married, and that's the thing, you know, you want to marry when your dad's the president because you want all the dignitaries and you know you want all the important people to come to your wedding. Um, and next to Chelsea Clinton is marriage of Grace Kelly to Prince of Monaco, and above that you have Kate Middleton. I like Princess Grace's wedding dress. I really like Chelsea's wedding dress as well. Um, I don't know. I don't know what to say about Kate Middleton's dress. I mean, I kind of like it, but I don't know. I just the V shape cut. I think. I mean, she looks pretty in it, but I don't. I wouldn't choose that dress if I were, you know, someone like, you know, like a woman who'd be marrying me. But obviously, a woman gets to choose the dress, and I have to lie and say I love it. That's what all the guys do. But yeah, but you know, I mean, she looks beautiful in any dress. Like Kate Middleton is a very beautiful woman, um, and you know, she was very strategic. You know, about getting the man she wants. I mean, you know, she's a woman. You know, she actually targeted well and got him. You know, strategic steps. That's a woman. You know, I respect Kate Middleton because not only did she marry Prince William, she has him in tight leash. And you know, I mean, she doesn't act like it, but you know she does. You know, and they have like 3 children, I think. They're very happily married. I mean, that's a woman. You know, woman who gets her man, who keeps her man like in tight short leash, has a lot of children, and makes sure the family's happy. That's what I call a matriarch. You know, you should learn from Kate Middleton. That's the kind of woman you want to be. Like, yeah, that's you. If you want to have a role model of a mother, like a woman who becomes a wife and a mother, Kate Middleton is, I would say, one woman you should look up to and learn from. I hope Kate Middleton writes a book about it because I think she has probably good practical advice to give. Although, you know, a lot of things I guess she cannot share because she's a royalty. You know, when you're royalty, you know, there are a lot of things you can't say. You know, it comes with a lot of glory, but there are a lot of limitations as well. That's like anything in life, you know, in human life. Um, Princess Diana, she's obviously very pretty there. Um, she should have probably kept Prince Charles in a shorter leash, but you know, yeah, it's a sad story because they look so good together. I mean, I consider that a tragedy, you know. Prince Charles and Prince Diana, they're so happily married, and then something went wrong. You know, it's always sad when that happens. Um, yeah. And you see the marriage of President Donald Trump to Melania. And I like that dress, you know, Melania's dress. She's a very attractive woman and she's really fashionable. The dress is really nice. So I like that dress. And obviously, he wasn't the president back then, so he didn't have like global leaders. But Bill Clinton was at his wedding with Hillary Clinton. So he had some famous people. But obviously, getting married when you're president or your father's president is a complete different ballgame. That's why I hope Tiffany Trump will be smart and get married when her father is, you know, closer to the beginning of his term than to the end of his term because, you know, um, yeah, I think that's always better. And President Trump can use like a happy wedding ceremony, you know, because that always brings everybody together, you know. And it could be one way nation is put together as well. Happy wedding. Yeah. But anyway, next to President Trump and Melania's wedding photo is a photo of President George W. Bush's daughter, Barbara. And she, her dress is tasteful, uh, and that's a nice wedding photo. It was a cozy family wedding, from what I understand. Uh, obviously, it would have been better if they got married when President Bush was in office. It's always better when your father is a senator or president or governor or mayor to get married than after he leaves office. Oh, that's like logical, right, for everybody. But look at the wedding dresses, aren't they nice? So which one is your favorite? Which one, like if you're a woman, which one would you like to get married in? You know? Harry's like looking at all the dresses very carefully, but I think he has problem deciding which one is like the prettiest dress that he likes the best. Um, yeah, so I marked for your life. I want your life to be beautiful and obviously happy. And for your life to be beautiful and happy, you need to find that if you're a woman, you need to find that man, and you get married and you have children. That's your happiness. Every parent that I met, that I've talked to, they said their greatest happiness is having children and raising them. Yeah, every single one that I've talked to who have children, they say that, and they mean it, because you kind of fish around and they mean it. So why would you want to miss out on your life filled with happiness, right? That comes from marriage and being a wife and a mother, especially a mother, right? Don't miss out on that. It'll be tragic if you miss out on that. Because really, what do you have at the end of the day? End of your long life. What do you have to show for it, really? Right? It's your children, your grandchildren, that defines you, And so, yeah, I would say choose happiness. March for your own life. Find that man to marry and be the father of your children. And if you're a man, find that woman to be the mother of your children. Start your own dynasty. Look at the family of Bush. Don't they look very happy? Yeah, start your own dynasty. Yeah. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's show. And I hope this show encourages you to find your happiness. Do not miss that window of opportunity for your greatest happiness, because time flies. Before you know it, time's gone. Don't miss out. So, yeah, I want you to be happy. I created this show because I marched for your life. Yeah. And that's why I'm running for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th District, because I am marching for your life. I want you to be happy. I want you to have a life filled with happiness, joy, and fulfillment. And getting married is a very, very important, maybe the most important part of your happiness throughout your life. Yeah. No one will love you like your children, right? No one. Yeah. And so don't miss out on that. Don't miss out on that. And so I'm glad that you had a chance to see this show today. I hope that this show is making you think and kind of giving you opportunity to go after your happiness. You live once. You have maximum 100 years to live. Do not throw your happiness away by chasing after the wind. Prioritize your life. What will really make you happy? I hear nursing professors at Georgetown University School of Nursing and Health Studies, and they talk about their children with such joy and happiness, because their children give them joy. Professor Nolan, he talks about his son, and we sometimes see Professor Margaret Nolan's son in the background walking around, and she's so happy that her son is there. You can see, and Professor Kelly Anderson was telling us about how she is flying out to, University of California, Santa Barbara to see her daughter in college. And she made her favorite dessert, and she was carrying it on the plane to bring it to her daughter because she's a mother. She's this great, famous nursing professor. And, at Georgetown University, she's the one who's creating the PhD program in nursing at Georgetown. She's a global leader. She goes and give papers on nursing. And like, but she's a mother, and that gives her the greatest joy. And she was like giddy the day that she was going to fly out to see her daughter at University of California at Santa Barbara for spring break. That was 2020 spring break. She was like practically giddy. I mean, like all of us were looking at her, and we could see how much happy she is thinking about her daughter. You know, and so why would you not want that for yourself? Every professor at Georgetown University who talks about their children and grandchildren, they are filled with happiness. Like when Professor Idioma Yearwood, uh, uh, she had her grandchild. You know, she was showing us her photo and she was talking about that. And you know, I mean, these things are what makes your life meaningful and happy, right? These are things that really matter in life. You know, your children, your grandchildren, you know, and why would you want to miss out on that? It doesn't make sense. You know, so prioritize your life, make wedding and marriage your priority. If you're between 18 to 24, you can get married. I mean, you could finish up your school while after you get married. You don't have to wait until you're done with school to get married if you're in love. You know, at Calvin College, they were saying 25% of the students get married like in junior year. Because, you know, Christians can have sex before marriage. So when they love each other and they want to have sex, they have to get married, right? I mean, so a lot of Christian college students get married while they're in school. Yeah, and they have like husband and wife dormitories or, you know, apartments for married students. Yeah, I mean, you could finish your study at being married. If you find a good man that you know is a good Christian, that, you know, you love, so why wait? Because if you don't get married to him, you may never get married. Like, you know, you could be like at 30 and still single, regretting that you would have married that guy from your Bible study at Georgetown. So yeah, don't miss out on that. The best time to get married is 18 to 24. Once you pass 24, if you're a woman, it's not easy getting married because men are very superficial. So yeah, you know, so yeah, you need to prioritize getting married. That's the most important thing. I have high respect for Emily, you know, in our program, Emily Norris. She's, you know, she's getting married to her childhood sweetheart, and you know, he asked her out. She said yes. They're getting married in December. It's such a beautiful thing, you know. She knows what she's doing, you know. Women who could get the guys to marry them, you have to have respect for, like, you know, Kate Middleton, you know. It's an art form. These men don't want to commit, you know. So any woman who has persuaded the guy to marry her, I mean, she's, you know, she's worthy of respect because she's tamed the guy, you know. She's gonna serve, you know, subjugated him in a way. Guys don't want to get married, so they want to be free, you know. But obviously, if they're in love and the woman is clever and wise, you know, he will ask her to marry him. You know, and so it's an art form. You know, it's what makes a woman. The ability to get the guy to fall in love, the ability to get him to ask you to marry him, and that's what we call feminine wiles, right? It's an art form. It's not easy. Um, yeah, it's. I mean, obviously, you could be born with it, or you could develop the skills. You know, but yeah, I mean, it's yeah. Yeah, don't miss out on your happiness. I mean, you know, it's the saddest thing when women miss out on their happiness. There's nothing more important than getting married and having children, because everything else can wait. Really, it's not like your professional life is going to be so much different if you get married and have children. I mean, everybody's married, right? We don't live in a society of single people, so you gotta assume every society areas, everyone's going to be married and have children. So you may be thinking like, oh, I'm getting ahead faster than other people, but you're not. Because everybody gets married and have children. And by the time you're 30, 32, 33, you're not married, you don't have children. You've already missed out because in most settings you go to, you're going to meet people 32 with like several children, you know, been married like for 5 years or more. and you will be like the abnormal person. You know what I mean? Yeah, so don't miss that window, 18 to 24, because that's the best window. I'm just giving you advice. Obviously, you do what you want, but you will see what I mean. You know, if you miss the window 18 to 24, you will see how hard it is to get married. It's, you know, life is what it is. It's been this way for a long time. So, you know, I could say with absolute certainty, you need to try to get married from 18 to 24 if you want to be happily married with the person you want to marry, you know? Um, yeah. So I hope you'll take that advice because your happiness is important to me. So that's why I'm sharing this. Yeah. So anyway, I'll bring more problem solving skills and analysis to you tomorrow. And I will give you insights into our world around us, what you need to do to survive and to protect your children from COVID-19 and other things that they face. So tune in every day. Don't miss an episode. Tell all your friends about this show so that, you know, all of your friends can see it. Obviously, you do what you want. You're free to do what you want. I'm just giving you good advice, you know, that you can take or leave it, right? But it's good to have this information, right? So you can choose what you want to do. So extend that kindness to your friends, your relatives, your cousins, and your coworkers, your neighbors, so they could see this show, so they could have greater chance at happiness and survival from COVID-19 and other things that happen around COVID-19. So I hope that you will be well and that your friend will be well too. So I'll see you tomorrow.